Good evening from Bossy Field in Evansville, Indiana. As it's an exhibition game here tonight that's finally going to get played after all this time waiting for that rain to pass off, with Bill McCune, Preston Lambach here on the Otters Digital Network, presented by Kruckermeyer & Kahn Jewelry Company. Bill, we finally get to play some baseball.
Yeah, welcome Otter fans to Evansville Otter Baseball, the home where Bossy Field, the third oldest stadium in the United States, is where the Otters play. And it's a pleasure to be with you, Preston. And let's play ball.
Let's play ball indeed, as we'll quickly take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Mr. Quick Pick, here to provide you the roadside service you deserve. Call Mr. Quick Pick at 812-496-2321. The Southern Illinois Miners, Evansville's opponent here tonight. This is how their lineup looks going into the top of the first inning. Leading off in right field will bat Nolan Early from the left side. Batting second at short, number 9, Luis Jean. Batting third, the first baseman, number 44, Joe Dudek. Batting fourth and catching, Chance Shepard. Batting fifth as the DH, Kurt Wirtz Jr., the former Otter. Batting sixth in left field, Corey Dempster. Batting seventh as the extra hitter here tonight using the option, Romeo Cortina. Batting eighth at third base, Anthony Critelli. Batting ninth at second base, Cletus Avery. And then the extra fielder being in center field, London Lindley. And then that lineup will go up against the left-handed pitcher, Nathan Forrest, on the mound for Evansville, wearing number 46. Evansville wearing their maroon jerseys here tonight, Bill.
Yeah, they, for some reason, they never like to wear those white uniforms. And, of course, that's my favorite. But anyway, I'm not managing. I don't decide who plays or what uniform, color of the uniform they have.
First pitch on its way from Forrest, the left-hander. Missing low in the zone for a ball. Underway here on the Otters Digital Network. Again, presented by Kruckermeyer & Kahn Jewelry Company. So again, Nolan Early, a returning player for the Miners at the dish. He'll take strike one on the outer half to even up the count at 1-1. The 1-1 count on its way from the left-hander. Little stutter step there. Low and away. Called a strike.
Well, I think he got a break on that. If that's a strike, he got a break on it. Looked low and outside to me. In the meantime, as you said, Nathan Forrest, the pitcher, his delivery's a pause.
As the 1-2 goes between the legs to the backstop, that'll even up the count at 2-2 strikes. Again, this is just an exhibition, part of the spring training season. It's the third exhibition game so far this year for the Otters. Falling in game one on Wednesday here at home to Florence, then getting one on the road at Florence last night, 4-3. The 2-2. Taken high above the letters. Count will run full, 3-2. Again, we are just getting started here in the top of the first inning. After about a 2-hour and 5-minute rain delay, game was scheduled to start at 6:35.
Yeah, you're right, 6:45 and 8:40, so it is 2 hours.
A pitch down the middle, but popped up near the second base bag. Who wants it? Coming in a couple steps toward the grass will be the shortstop for Evansville, Toby Thomas, calling off Barrios, Pedro Barrios at second base. So this will bring up Louis Jean, the shortstop, number 9. Miners wearing their black jersey tops here tonight. Again, just spring training, so by a week from today, we'll have opening night, and the roster will be trimmed down to 24 players. Going up and in. Forced with that high fastball, 1-0.
Yeah, you're right. Some of these young men will be going home. California, New Jersey, wherever. But they'll be looking for another place to play baseball, unfortunately. You know, years ago when I was in the game and you're in affiliated baseball, when they send you home, they pay your way home. And that meant you took the Greyhound bus. So today everybody drives cars.
Count reads 2-0 with one out. And time is called. But also a good example of that, though, where, yeah, even though you might get cut, you will find another opportunity more than likely elsewhere. Or in this case, for Taylor Cherry, who's back with the club so far in the spring training roster, who was with the club last year until about the middle of the summer.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times they're released from the Otters, and the next thing you know, they're playing with Gateway. So you never can tell. If you want to play, there's a place for you.
Last pitch called for, strike 2-1. And here's the next pitch. Weak grounder toward third. Couple steps. Easy toss across the diamond. Play made by Travis Harrison. And there's out number 2. Harrison
looked like it hit off his leg or something. It seemed to, unless the ground is so soaked, which I doubt, but it seemed to, once it hit the ground, it went dead and just trotted down there to third base.
Yeah, it's like just a weak little, maybe almost toward the handle of the bat, a little off the knob maybe a little bit. Yeah. But it's down number 2 with Harrison playing third base, making the play. And one of the new faces to the squad this year so far. Again, still cuts to be made at this point. The 2 out. Batter at the dish will be number 44, Joe Dudek, the first baseman from the left side. Swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. And it's strike 1 on the board.
I see he's from Wall Township, New Jersey. That's down the Jersey Shore.
Not too far from your neck of the woods, I reckon.
That's right.
And it's called strike 2. So Nathan Forrest on the mound for Evansville. Jumps ahead, 0-2 in the count. As Evansville's defense with Wells playing in center field. We'll shift around toward right center a couple steps. Not too dramatic of a shift. High and away for a ball, 1-2. Which does leave a little bit of space out there in left center with Wells playing toward right. The 1-2 delivery, fired home. And it's in the dirt. Kept in front by Valorio, the catcher, for Evansville. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Valorio, one of 4 catchers on the squad going into today's action. A little bit of a pause there from Forrest. Now he enters his windup and fires home, strike 3. Punched out looking to end the top half of the first inning. So Nathan Forrest, a 1-2-3 first. We go to the Otters half of the first inning as you're watching the Otters Digital Network presented by Krickemeyer & Kahn Jewelry Company. for Gary to head to the bottom of the first inning here from Bossy Field. The Otters will come up to bat for the first time here tonight. Nathan Forrest with the 1-2-3 top half of the first with good stuff showing by the lefty for Evansville on the mound in that top of the first inning. Now the lineup for the Otters offensively, leading off for Evansville, the DH, Ryan Long. Batting second at short, Toby Thomas, followed by the third baseman, Travis Harrison, batting third. Clean up here tonight, the right fielder, number 5, Jeff Gardner. Batting fifth will be the center fielder, Zach Wells, followed by the first baseman, Caleb Eldridge, batting sixth. Batting seventh, the catcher, Louis Valorio. And then batting eighth for Evansville will be Hunter Colin, inserted late into the lineup for the Otters, playing left field. Batting ninth, the second baseman, Pedro Barrios. And they will go up against the lefty on the mound for Southern Illinois and Billy Griffin. So here's Long at the plate for his first at-bat of the night. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Again, Griffin on the mound for the Miners. Strike 2 called. Long falls behind, 0-2 on the count. Again, Long playing DH now. He was initially slated to start in left field. One of the returning players from Evansville who we saw play a little bit of third base last year as well as in left field.
Yeah, I remembered him at third base, and he was a better third baseman and left fielder. And if you remember in the game the other day, the educational day, he played left. There was a fly ball. There was a home run, actually. And he did not, being honest, did not know how to field it. He turned to his right, then his left, and he was a little befuddled.
Takes a ball, and it's 1-2.
I'd rather see him at third base.
A little weak tapper back to Griffin on the mound. He'll underhand it to first base on the light jog. And there's one away in the bottom of the first inning. Still looking for our first run. Just getting started, it's a little over 10 minutes ago in this one after, again, a 2-hour rain delay. So here's Toby Thomas for the first time, the shortstop. He'll bat from the right side. Where's number 4? Waits for the first pitch he sees of the night. He'll go ahead and take a swing at it as it dipped down below the knees. Late movement, and it's 0-1. Thomas had a pretty good night last night in Florence, going 2 for 2, pair of runs and a pair of RBI.
Drove in the first run, if I'm not mistaken, on a sacrifice fly.
Looks at a strike 2. So Griffin, early on, back-to-back batters, starting out 0-2 against the Otters lineup.
Yeah.
Long look in this time by Griffin. Now he'll come set, working exclusively pretty much out of the stretch here. Off the end of the bat, roller towards short, across the diamond. Low throw, but the play will be made. And there's 2 outs. And as the shortstop, Eugene making the play defensively for the Miners.
I don't know if you noticed, Preston, in my opinion anyway, when that ball was hit down to short, when it was rolling on the grass, it kind of slowed itself down. So I know the grass is not high. Maybe it's wet. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the tarp was on the field, but we had quite a bit of rain. It's possible that a few water droplets snuck through. Despite that, all that moisture on the tarp kind of weighted down as well. As at the plate, Travis Harrison, the third baseman for the Otters, looks at strike 1. So for 3 straight batters to start at the bottom of the first, Griffin jumps ahead with the first pitch strike. And he'll throw a ball down and away. Kind of got away from him there on that one. Harrison awaits the 1-1 pitch, takes it for a ball, and it's 2-1. Harrison choosing to go without the batting gloves, batting from the right side, also rocking the high socks. As the defense pretty much playing straight up. Center fielder and Lindley maybe playing a couple steps toward his right from his perspective. And there's ball 3 low. 3-1. Good hitters count here for Harrison.
used to love a 3-1 count when I played. It means a fastball 90% of the time.
He gets one, but maybe a little out in front. And it goes foul down the third base line. Even kind of caught himself after he fouled it off, knowing that just hold back just a tad bit later the time that went up.
Right. You know, if you went to Vegas and you put $100 down on a 3-1 count and you said it's going to be a fastball and the batter's going to swing, I guarantee that you'll win 8 out of 10 times.
So the count runs full, 3-2 count, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning, and Harrison fouls it away over the rooftop. After, again, the rain showers coming through. Nice little evening here at the ballpark. Getting back to the baseball season here in early May. And good eye there, taking that one on the outside edge for a ball 4. A 2-out walk to Harrison. Which will extend the first inning offensively for Evansville to the cleanup batter, Jeff Garner, the 2017 Frontier League home run champ with 23 home runs, also led the league in RBI as well. And also not only the home run champ in terms of the statistical category across the season, but also the home run derby champ during the All-Star break last year.
Yeah, he's from Louisville, if I'm not mistaken, and that was a pretty good curveball there. Yeah, his parents came up quite a bit from Louisville to watch him play. And he went to the University of Louisville, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course, today and tomorrow, basically a holiday season in Louisville with the Kentucky Derby taking place tomorrow. The run for the Roses as Garner pulls this one foul, first base side.
I've never been to the Kentucky Derby, but I've been to Churchill Downs. And I remember my wife and I and little boy at that time. Today he's a 43-year-old son, but at that time he was about, I think, 13. And we got those julep glasses. You know.
It's an 0-2 count here to Gardner. The pitch. Slow breaking ball. Popped up foul toward the Miners dugout, and it will get out of play and go off the rooftop at Bosse Field.
And take notice that pitcher came all the way off the mound, ready to field that, and went by the dugout. Now that is what you call hustle. But I may make a comment here, Preston. He doesn't belong there. That was either the third baseman's play, not his. Sometimes the pitchers can get you in trouble.
Lengthy look in. Griffin. And kind of put that one in on the hands, but a good swing there somehow to make contact and foul it away.
Yeah, that was a good call. There was a kind of a golf swing inside, low and inside, and he uppercutted it a little, and you're right. He was lucky he got any wood on it. That was a pretty good pitch.
Would you classify that as a good golf swing?
Oh, yes.
All right, I'm going to start taking notes because I need to improve my golf game. Garner steps back into the box from the left side. Joined the Otters about midway through the 2016 season, and he'll foul another one back. Will this one stay in play? It might. And the catcher, Shepard, flipping off the mask, able to make the catch in foul territory behind plate for out number 3. So we're through 1.
And the pitcher was right there at home plate to help. Again, he's a hustler.
As we're through 1, we'll head to the second. Still scoreless from Bosse Field. This is the Otters Digital Network, presented by Crickermeyer & Kahn Jewelry Company. As we are back here on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, we thank you for joining us here tonight. Again, powered by Kirkhamar & Kahn Otters Digital Network. With Bill McCune, Preston Leinenbach joining you here tonight for tonight's action. Evansville Otters baseball taking on the Southern Illinois Miners from historic Bosse Field. Nathan Forrest on the mound once again after a 1-2-3 first inning. A little wild on that first pitch to start the second as that one bounces away toward the Miners dugout on the third base side.
And the third base coach just walked out there slowly for the Miners, and he is a former Otter.
The 1-0. Fouled back off the top of the bat as the batter Shepard, who just made that foul territory catch in the bottom of the first, just getting underneath that one a little bit.
It's going back to the third base coach. It's Steve Marino that played here for the Otters in 2013. A great defensive ball player.
And 1-2 with a strike called on that one. Well,
no, I was going to say Marino had a great glove and he had good power. Was a great addition to the Otters, and next year he went over to the Miners. He's been there ever since.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. A strikeout for Forrest. And the Otters will go around the horn with one down here in the top of the second. While we have a chance, we'll set up the defensive alignment here for Evansville. As in left field, it's Hunter Cullen. In center field, Zach Wells. And in right field, Jeff Garner. Going into the infield, third base, Travis Harrison. Shortstop, Toby Thomas. At second, it's Pedro Barrios. At first, Caleb Eldridge. With Louis Valorio, the catcher, behind the plate. Nathan Forrest on the mound. Ball 1 to Kurt Wirtz Jr. So from talking about one former Otter to another with Kurt Wirtz Jr. at the plate.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I always liked this young man at batting now. Had good power. He's got great speed. He can steal bases. Come up with an injury most of last year. Didn't play that much. And the year before, when we traded him to... I don't know if we traded him or released him. He ended up with the Miners anyway.
As Forrest just blast one past Wirtz Jr. on that one. A late swing, and the count 2-1.
Yeah, Kurt has got good power. Like I said, got a good arm. If I was to say anything bad about him, is he strikes out too much.
Takes another big hack, comes up empty, and it's 2-2.
But again, defense, he's a good defensive ball player. And he's from Pennsylvania, Williamsport.
Pitcher's count, 2-2. And he
strike three.
A little indecisive to go at it, but he does. And as you mentioned, Bill, strike 3. And quickly there's 2 outs.
And that's a third strikeout in a row for Nathan. And tell you what, he got a little zip on that fastball.
Mm-hmm.
He struck every one of those 3 batters out strictly on fastballs, not on that breaking pitch.
So there's been a couple times for me he's overthrown it a little bit, but obviously had a pretty nice little at-bat from the mound against Wirtz Jr. there.
Yeah.
As he tosses ball 1 to Corey Dempster, the left fielder for Southern Illinois.
Well, what might be deceptive, Preston, is his delivery. If you notice, and I know you made mention of it, there's a pause in his delivery right there. See?
Goes down in the zone, and Dempster goes fishing for that one, and it's 1-1.
As a batter, you're watching that arm motion, and when it goes back, you're trying to pick the ball up as soon as it goes by his shoulder, but he pauses, and then it's like a catapult. Then he throws.
And he'll get a swinging strike for strike number 2. Gain ahead 1-2.
Now, he's been throwing mostly fastballs, and I think his breaking pitch, you said he overthrows it. Is that what you were referring to?
Not necessarily the breaking pitch, but there's just been a couple times where maybe he tried to put a little extra behind it, and it's ended up in the dirt.
Okay.
By the pitch selection, so to speak. Try to lock that one inside. Foul tip. That dribbles in front of home plate. 1-2.
Well, so far, I know it's only the second inning, but he's impressed me. And let's see now. We've played the third exhibition game, and this is his first time he's appeared, if I'm not mistaken.
His starting pitchers have gone about 3 innings or so. Of course, it's probably more of a pitch count than an inning count. And it's 2-ball, 2-strike count with 2 outs on the scoreboard. Out in left center field from Bossy Field as the American flag in center lays limp. The 2-2. Ooh. Went off the end of the bat, but it got past Valorio and went into the dugout for the Miners, and that will allow the runner to reach.
It's a strikeout, but I don't know how they ruled it. Wild pitch or error? How did we rule that? Fastball, wild pitch. Wild pitch. So it's ruled a wild pitch, Preston, that the runner's on.
As now with the next batter, and Romeo Cortina at the plate, the extra hitter option being played here by the Miners. Takes one up and in, and just to pass along to our fans who are maybe trying to find the live stats feed, we are having some technical difficulties with the live stats here at the ballpark, but that's what the exhibitions are for, to try to get the kinks out and figure everything out. But you can always follow along via social media, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by following the Evansville Otters with updates throughout the game. Or obviously just stay tuned right here and listen to Bill McCune and Preston Leinbach, your broadcasters here this evening. It's a 2-0 count. It's Forrest out of the stretch with a runner on at first. A one-hopper that bounces off of Harrison's chest and into left field.
I've got to say that's going to be a base hit, but I don't know if that's a base hit or an error. Base hit, error? Kind of hard to field.
So after getting the first 2 out of the inning, the next 2 have reached. The inning will continue on to Anthony Critelli. Again, we're only here in the top of the second inning after a lengthy rain delay, so we'll have some Otters baseball here for you for a good chunk of this latter part of the evening. First and second. Critelli at the plate. Also familiar name from the minor squad a year ago. So Illinois had a little bit of a down year last year. Looking to bounce back in 2018. A couple hours west of Evansville and Marion, Illinois, or eliminated a little bit southwest, calling their home at Rent One Park.
Beautiful ballpark. Completely astroturf, if that's what they call it. At least that's what they used to call it.
Here's the 0-1. Bounced in the dirt, a few feet in front of home plate, but kept in front off the protector by Valorio.
I don't think there's let me say, a yard or a foot of dirt on that entire field. It's completely, again, astroturf. Would that be the correct word or not?
I just call it turf.
All right, turf, okay.
What's a 1-1 count? Inside, just above the knees, thigh high for a ball, and it's 2-1. Yeah, Valorio, the catcher here tonight, as Evansville, well, that's going to be one of the intriguing spots for them this spring training. He's going to be the new backstop for Evansville after a couple years with Dane Phillips and Colton Yamaguchi. It's going to be a new face, putting down the fingers and putting out the signals to the pitchers this year, as that one's ripped foul down the left field line.
Well, this particular young man, Louis, he has a delayed pause before he throws it back. He more or less curls his wrist, pauses, and then throws it, and it's a lob back to the pitcher, which again I don't like. if I was on the opposing team, I'd be stealing.
The 2-2 fouled away first base side.
If I was on first base, I would see how he lobs that ball back, and you're going to catch everybody off guard. The second baseman's there, the shortstop's there. The pitchers generally, I've been noticing when he's catching, the pitchers come all way off the mound to get that lob, and if I was a runner, I'd steal then.
Grounder that sneaks through the right side hole into right field. Gardner fields in shallow right. He'll fire home. It's going to be a little short, though, on a couple bounces, and the first run of the game is scored by Southern Illinois. They'll take the 1-0 lead here in the top of the second, as Dempster will slide in safely.
Now, if you notice, that ball then slowed down. Now, I don't know if Gardner, it wasn't a good throw, let's be honest. But it did die. So,
yeah, he didn't get the normal probably skip of the grass like he probably would in the regular season on a dry day.
Right, but still, there was no velocity on the throw. So I don't know if he's got a sore arm or not, but that was not a good throw from right field. I don't know if he would have thrown the runner out, but it would have been questionable.
Garner does have one of the stronger arms for Evansville. Pretty solid defensively a year ago. And this is a lining ball toward left, sinking at the last little bit. And Hunter Cullen is there to make the catch for out number 3. So the Miners score the first run of the game, top of the second. They lead 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second from Bosse Field. This is the Otters Digital Network presented by Krookermeyer & Kahn Jewelry Company. As we're getting ready set for the bottom of the second inning from Bosse Field. The Otters at the plate. It's a 1-0 lead, though, for Southern Illinois. And a called strike to Evansville center fielder Zach Wells. Picked up about 2/3 of the way, I guess, into last season. Introduced himself to the Evansville Otters faithful down the stretch toward the playoff run and into the playoffs. At the plate now for the first time tonight, and he'll look at strike 2 as our home plate umpire, Mike McGrath, giving that outside edge. Dennis Freck, our umpire, on the bases.
This pitcher has been ahead of our hitters consistently so far.
That one spins away. Made a little two-seaming action. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Well, it turned out to be a beautiful night, Preston. Good thing it's a Friday.
Finally feeling like spring-like temperatures here in Evansville as Wells off the barrel, but made a little underneath it toward the left center alleyway as Lindley ranges over to his right for the out. As for a while there, just thought it was going to stay cold here in Evansville.
Yeah, it was a little chilly, and but I think it's just a humid right now. I mean, it's dead air.
So with one away, Caleb Eldridge to the plate. So we have a chance to set the Miners lineup. Early and right, Gene at short. Going down their offensive lineup here. But we'll finish out the outfield since we're going out of order here. Again, it's just an exhibition, trying to get the kinks out. So an early and right, Dempster in left field, and in center it's Lindley. Going into the infield now at third base is Cortelli, Gene at short, Avery at second, Dudek at first, Shepard behind the plate catching with Griffin on the mound.
Eldridge had a pretty good game the other day. Got that home run and single, and he struck out twice, but still he looked good at the bat, at the plate.
Carrying it to opposite field the other day.
Yeah.
And he'll look that one in all the way for ball 2-2-1.
Well, one of those strikeouts the other day was a bad call, third strike. I mean, that was way outside, and umpire rung him up, but I thought it was a bad pitch, a bad call.
Breaking ball. Up in the zone, swung on and missed, 2-2.
Yeah, he kind of jumped on that one. That was kind of high, floating up there by his eyes, and I guess it was like a big watermelon. He went after it.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Foul tipped into the mitt. So that one dipped down, and Eldridge obliges to chase, and there's out number 2 with the strikeout. So Louis Valorio, the catcher, will step up to the dish for the first time here tonight. He'll bat from the right side, using the shin guard, it appears, on the front foot. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away.
Oh, he couldn't have hit that if he had a sailor's oar. That was low and outside. His head was looking in left field, and no way he could have hit that. Same pitch.
Tipped on and missed. And it's 0-2. As Evansville will face the Otters not only tonight, but also tomorrow night, Tuesday, and Wednesday to wrap up the spring training slate of exhibition games. Off the end of the bat towards second. Right there, the second baseman, Avery, to toss over to first base for out number 3. So with that, that will end the first 2 frames of this one. And the Miners lead the Otters 1-0 here on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, presented by Kruckermeyer and Kahn. Back on the Evansville Outers Digital Network, powered by Crookmeyer & Kahn Jewelry Company. And just a reminder that the Evansville Outers will face the Southern Illinois Miners tomorrow night. First pitch will be at 7:05 p.m. from Brooks Stadium in Paducah, Kentucky. You can follow along at FrontierLeague.com or by following the Evansville Outers on Twitter and Facebook. The Outers' next home game will be Wednesday, May 9th at 10:05 a.m. for Education Day, as the Outers have their final exhibition before the opening weekend. For tickets to the next Evansville Outers home game at Bosse Field, call 812-435-8686 or order online at EvansvilleOuters.com or stop by the Bosse Field box office. Just make your way down to 23 Don Manley Way. Heading to the third inning from Bosse Field here tonight of this exhibition, the Jacobs Village Benefit Game. Had a pretty good attendance for such a special game, the 13th annual Jacobs Village game here at Bosse Field.
All the proceeds of tonight's game goes to Jacobs Village, and that is courtesy of Mr. Bill Bussing, the owner of the Otters, who is a great supporter of the Jacobs Village group, and I wish there were more people like Mr. Bussing, who was one of the entrepreneurs of Evansville.
Nathan Force on the mound, pumps home strike one, and then goes down and inside near the shoe tops of London Lindley. And just like that, 1 ball, 1 strike count. The Miners look like to be executing a 10-man offensive lineup here. Fouled away, third base side toward the Miners bullpen, 1-2.
You know, I was making reference to Louis, the catcher here, and I was telling you about that twirl of his wrist, and then he lobs the ball back to the pitchers, just like now he's thrown it back. However, on the steal, he's got a pretty good, strong, accurate arm, I'll say that. So there's 2 different throws that this young man has.
So far, including tonight's game, through 3 games in the exhibition play, another foul ball, 2-2 the count. He's gotten all the starts. Again, we'll see other catchers appear into the game for Evansville, but he's been the first one to get out of the dugout to at least begin the game in these spring training exhibitions.
Well, I know he caught the other day here, the education day. I don't know about last night, but the same, I guess. So that's an indication. The skipper, Andy's probably trying to get him as many at-bats as possible before the season opens.
Pitch taken low, count runs full. Lindley, the right-handed batter, pulls this one down the line past the diving glove of Harrison as he went to his left, all the way near the corner, and it'll be a stand-up double for the speedy London Lindley.
That's a pretty good shot. I don't care if it was the best third baseman in baseball, Ken Boyer, playing that third base down there. He couldn't have gotten that one.
So back to the top of the order for the Miners. Second time around to begin with the leadoff batter and the right fielder, Nolan Early. He'll step in to the batter's box with a runner in scoring position, that being the leadoff batter of the inning, and London Lindley at second. He'll take his lead. And he's getting a pretty good lead there, secondary lead. But ball 1 here too early. It's 1-0.
I see our shortstop just asked the umpire would he kindly move because he was blocking his view.
Ball 2 low, 2-0. Forrest brings the glove about chest high. That's where he'll set, fire, and a high pop-up fly ball still in play, coming on strong. The left fielder Colin to make the play. His hat coming off in the process.
I tell you what, I'm going to question our shortstop on that particular play, Toby. Now, maybe he was too far over towards second base. I don't know, but he did not hustle over there. That could have easily had dropped for a base hit, if you notice. The left fielder had to come all the way. As a ball player, you run everything out. You try to get every fly ball you can.
So the first out of the inning.
Ooh.
High and inside here to the shortstop for Southern Illinois, Louis Jean.
You know, I'm going to have to bring my binoculars and see some of those radar guns down there. If we can pick up the velocity. See that one down there? I'm going to say right now he's throwing either 89 to 91 miles an hour. But again, that's a guess.
Count now reads 1-1. Look back there by Forrest. The pitch on home for a swinging strike. 1-2 as the minor shortstop didn't like his decision to make a swing at that one.
Now, he played Double-A baseball last year, this gentleman. Louis Jean. Is that the way you would say it? Or is it French?
And he'll take one outside, 2-2. Big gap toward left center. Swells stepped in a little bit and then went toward right. Popped up. Behind home plate. Valori will give chase. Give it a look. And it'll go off the rooftop. And it comes back into play. You got to watch out. If it catches that one side of the rooftop, it's coming back at you.
You know, many, many years ago, I think it was in Lawton, Oklahoma. I'm going to say it was Lawton, Oklahoma. There was a pop fly just like that. And it was a windy day. And I turned around, I hustled, went after it, and all of a sudden I said, oh, it's out of the ballpark. And I turned my head and I asked for the umpire, and he struck him out on a high inside pitch. But anyway, I asked the umpire for a new ball. The wind brought that ball back onto the field. And, of course, it cost me a couple dollars for not hustling. And it deserved it. I gave up on it. I just assumed. And you know what assume means.
So the next batter up with the strikeout, number 44, Joe Dudek, the first baseman for the second time. Backs off of a ball inside, 1-0. Inside out swing, foul territory, and toward the left field picnic area. And we are looking forward to seeing both picnic areas being filled up here this upcoming season.
Yeah. You know, we were talking about this guy is from Walt Township, New Jersey, and the second baseman is from Homedale, New Jersey.
Foul back.
They're kind of next door to each other. Probably back when I lived in Jersey, they were probably, for me, I'm going to say 15, 20 miles away. Homedale was where the big AT&T building was.
Out of the stretch. Looks like about maybe first base side, middle of the rubber, in that little in-between area for Forrest. And the count now 2-2 with 2 outs. And the runner still at second. That was the leadoff batter in Lindley for this inning. And if Forrest can strand him there, that'd be a pretty good, solid inning of work. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. He will get the strikeout. He will strand that runner at second to end the top half of the third. Good work there by Nathan Forrest. As we're heading to the bottom of the third right after this, you're watching the Evansville Otters Digital Network presented by Crickermeyer and Kahn. Back on the Evansville Otters digital network, presented by Crookermeyer and Kahn. From historic Bosse Field, a 1-0 lead for the Southern Illinois Miners over your Evansville Otters. Thunderbolt Pass Golf Course has the best golf rates in town, now offering 18 holes with a cart for just $18. Don't forget the $1 drafts and $5 pitchers of ice-cold beer. Come and visit The Bolt, Thunderbolt Pass, a supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. With Bill McHugh and Preston Leinenbach here tonight from historic Bosse Field, Hunter Colin to lead off the inning for the Otters.
Yes, and our Evansville Otter pitcher, Nathan, has got 6 strikeouts. And that last young man from Wall Township, he struck out twice on the same identical pitch. Fastballs are just a little high.
As Colin with a late square to try to bunt, misses, and it's 0-1. So you had 6 strikeouts here tonight. You had last night's starter, McGuff, also throw 6 strikeouts in his start for Evansville on the road at Florence in the 4-3 victory. Grounder up the middle, but playable, as he'll stay on the infield dirt.
Wow.
As that throw by Gene took the first baseman Dudek down to about a sideways knee and to his right at the first base bag.
I tell you what, that young man can run. He is a rabbit. My goodness, that was really close. I'm going to predict, Preston, if he stays with the club all year, he's going to get himself at least 10 infield base hits.
So now, with Colin retired, it's Pedro Barrios, the second baseman. First pitch, chopper back to the pitcher, Griffin. He'll underhand it to first. Second time tonight he's had to make that play. And there's 2 outs.
I'm talking about Cullen, and, one of the coaches and one of the players that the Miners had was Santana. And he was a player and a coach. And back in 2007, when he was the second baseman for the Miners, he got many of his base hits were infield hits because he ran them out. That was it. Base hits because of his speed.
So Ryan Long up for the second time. Had a tough first at bat. Digs in, though, looking at an 0-1 count, taking a strike there. Breaking ball, down and away for a ball, and it's 1-1. And continue to set the scene here. The coaching staff back for 2018, like last year, with Andy McCauley staying at the third base coaching box, and Booch Day back in the first base coaching box this year for Evansville. Breaking ball that drops in for a strike at the knees, 1-2. You got Max Peterson back as the pitching coach. J.R. Seymour back, Phil Britton. Bobby Siegel, of course, the hitting coach. Coach of the year last year in the Frontier League.
Oh, is that right? Oh.
Phil Britton, Rob Watson also back to assist the staff. And did he go?
Well, there's
and there'll be a 2-3 put out.
And there is a mistake on the catcher's part right there. Okay? Here you got Shepard, okay? The batter is standing there at home plate. All he had to do was tag him, but still he threw it to first base. Poor intelligence on the catcher's part.
As we're through 3 innings, we'll go to the 4th. New pitcher on the way to the mound for Evansville. We'll tell you who that is right after this. This is the Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookermeyer & Kahn Jewelry Company. Back on the Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookemeyer Con Jewelry Company. As with Bill McCune, Preston Lionbach here with you from historic Bosse Field. The Miners leading 1-0. New pitcher to the mound for Evansville in this exhibition. And coming in will be Austin Nicely. The left-hander will take over for the starting left-hander. Getting his final warm-up tosses in. Through 3 again. It's 1-0 Southern Illinois here from Bosse Field. Thank you for joining us here tonight as it's turned to be a late night, but yet still, I guess, relatively early in this game, going to the 4th inning. Had a late start this one with a 2-hour, 5-minute rain delay. Chance Shepard, the catcher, to lead off the inning for the Miners. As he'll dig in. First pitch swinging against the new pitcher on the mound for Evansville. Foul back to the netting. 0-1.
You know, he's listed as an infielder, yet he's catching. And from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Looks at a strike. Falls behind 0-2.
That's where the battleships, North Carolina battleships down there. It's a resort, Wilmington.
And the count now 1-2. Down and away for ball 2, 2-2. So Nicely, he'll come set. Third base side of the rubber, peering over the top of that glove. Brings it down to the belt, up, and the windup. Swung on and missed. A strikeout for Nicely, the first batter he sees, and there's one away in the top of the 4th. So far, these lefties, obviously, as you mentioned, Bill, 6 from the starter for Evansville in force, and already 1 for Nicely.
Yeah, so far, pitching is looking good. I have to say, the first game that they played the other day against Florence, the pitching didn't look that good, but tonight it looks superb. Of course, there's only 2 pitchers so far. Let me rephrase that. Only 1 pitcher. This guy's only thrown to 1 batter. This is the second batter now.
And against the lefty on the mound, the lefty into the batter's box, Kurt Wirtz Jr., and it's 0-2 as he fouls that one. And the Otters and Miners will square off again tomorrow from Brooks Stadium in Paducah, Kentucky. As has become routine over the last few years. Another swinging strikeout. And the Otters will go around the horn for out number 2.
I said I like Kurt. Good speed, good power, good defense. Strikes out too much, and that's the second time that he struck out. You know, you can't chase those high fastballs unless you've got a quick bat.
This one rolled over toward the deep corner of the third base side of the infield, where Harrison tried to get over to his right backhand, but it bounces away. And the runner will be safe, that being Corey Dempster.
Here's that backhand fielding. All he had to do was take a step and get his body in front of it and throw him out. But no, they've got a backhand. That's, for some reason, I don't know, whoever come up with that years ago, Al Campanis, I remember, what was it, 1980, I'm going to say 88. We were in spring training down in Miami, and Al Campanis was the general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And we were talking to Al, and he said, you'll never see a Dodger do that. They'll never backhand. Al Campanis was a second baseman for Montreal back in the International League. He was a Dodger all his life, a school teacher and a baseball player, manager, and general manager.
Count 1-0. to Cortina, who steps in. Looks at a strike, 1-1 to even the count. Can you just kind of look at this lineup for Evansville? Returning from last year, Long, Gardner, and Wells, and that's about it for at least the starting lineup here tonight. This one's fouled back over the rooftop.
Yeah, gone was the nucleus there to the All-American Josh Allen. Possible major leaguer playing center Sweeney if he'd only took a couple lessons, didn't strike out as much. Sweeney, he could do 5 things. He could run, he could throw, he could field, he had great power, and he stung the ball if he didn't chase too many bad pitches.
Foul ball, and it's 1-2. The Otters have reached the postseason in consecutive seasons. Of course, winning it all back in 2016. Looking to, again, reach the postseason this year. Fell in the divisional series last year to Schaumburg in 4 games. Evansville's had a nice little stretch here of appearing in the postseason as a fly ball in the 1-2 count toward right. Backing up now, a step to his right. Gardner reaching up, making the catch with the glove for out number 3. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th. It's 1-0 Miners. This is Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network, presented by Kroekemeyer & Kahn Jewelry Company. Welcome back to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Kroekemeyer & Kahn Otters Digital Network. Going to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 lead for the Southern Illinois Miners here from historic Bosse Field. As it'll be Thomas, Harrison, and Garner due up, unless we might see some substitutions. Don't know. But here's Toby Thomas, the shortstop.
I would say to our fans out there listening to you and I, Preston, that they ought to tell their friends that we're not on the radio right now, but we're on the internet, and if they want to listen and see the game, just all they got to do is what? Tune into YouTube?
Go to YouTube. It's the most video-watched platform on the internet. Everybody goes when they're bored to watch just silly videos on YouTube. Well, why not watch the Evansville Otters? You can definitely do that. Just go to the search bar on YouTube, type in Evansville Otters. The first thing that'll pop up is the channel, and you should be able to find the link to the Evansville Otters live stream. And so we want to thank everyone who is tuning in here tonight. We definitely appreciate your viewership and your support here tonight.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah, that's the best part. It's free.
And it's archived, so you can go back and rewatch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, here we are.
Thomas, a liner over the leaping shortstop's head into left field for a base hit on the 1-1 pitch. And the leadoff runner is on for the Otters.
Now here's something, Andy doesn't bunt very much. Let us see if he does it this year. Because you're down 1-0. I know it's a exhibition game, but it's also a chance to see if they can steal and they can bunt and whatever.
Harrison at the plate. Looks like one away, 1-0. Yeah, like you said, it's a chance to kind of test yourselves in situational baseball.
That's all it is right now. If you make a mistake, it doesn't count. Whereas once the season starts, they do count.
As ball 2 taken low, 2-0. Andy McCauley had a chance to spend his offseason with a new kid welcoming to the family.
Yeah, it was a son. If you remember, it was born in September of last year during the playoffs.
He had a chance to catch up with our media relations manager, Zane Clodfelter, as ball 3 is tossed. Back during the first couple workouts of the spring training, and he said this was one of the hardest times to leave the family to come back to baseball season.
Well, his daughter is 2 years old, and as the father of 7,
strike 1, 3-1.
4 boys and 3 girls, that age 2 is the worst. That's what they seem to be getting in trouble all the time. Of course, they don't know the difference in 2 years of age, but they're into everything.
Thomas at first takes his lead, fouled away on the 3-1. How did you spend your off season?
Reclining, watching a lot of TV. Couldn't wait until the season started. I got AT&T.net TV, and I watched a lot of movies, a lot of war movies.
Count runs full. I know I started seeing you at the ballpark about a couple months ago. I could tell you were starting to get the itch for baseball season. As that one grounded up the middle into center field for a base hit. And Thomas will take a little bit of a wide turn in a second, but he'll pull back to the second base bag. And it's first and second with no one out in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. Normally we would go to Florida for a couple months or weeks or months, whatever. It depends. We're getting too old to travel now, so we didn't do too much. My wife's, we were in Jersey last July, and she got a blood clot, and she was on that blood thinner. We weren't supposed to, travel too much, and plus she's got a multitude of problems, her neck, her back, and legs, and so, once you get to 85 years of age, all those problems, it's like an automobile, starts to run down little by little.
Pop up, shallow right field. And it looks like the play will be made. Looks like it was Avery, number 34, going back to make that play. My view was kind of obstructed by the beam in front of us. But it looked like he was the one to make it. As he gets the high fives from his teammates. Up here in the broadcast booth in the press box at Bosse Field. So with one down, first and second still. Ours with a chance to tie the game with the runner in scoring position. And strike call.
And there's a gentleman down there handing out the courtesy pieces of pretzel. And I'll tell you what, that pretzel is delicious.
Oh, it's really good. As soon as that was introduced, it was on my good side.
Yeah, samples are being handed out now, and I tested them that.
Wells off the end of the bat towards shallow right field. Ooh, and no man's land almost, but coming in quickly is London Lindley with the basket catch for out number 2.
Yeah, Wertz hit last time up. He hit a fly to deep left center. This one here is a pop fly in short center. Anyway, we had the first few runners get on, no outs, and here we are. We got a pop fly to short right. Now we have a pop fly to short center, and we haven't scored. Up comes Evledge. He's got good power.
And he tried to show off the power, but fouls it off his foot, and it's 0-1.
I know the first time I came out here the other day when they were having practice, and I've watched this young man, and I tell you what, he hit quite a few out of the ballpark and hit quite a few up against the fence. So I didn't know who he was. All I know is he had the long hair. They didn't have numbers, so I didn't know anybody.
Still got to get acquainted to some of these new players.
Yeah.
So that one's down the way for a ball, 1-1. Other returning players, including Luke Rennie, Keanu Cummings.
Well, we'll get to see them. They're home, 46 days they'll be home?
Starting next weekend, May 11th, next Friday night for opening night of the 2018 baseball season. And it's 2-1. That one also downstairs. Be opening night. Hoosier Lottery will be in attendance, giving out lottery tickets to, I believe the amount is about, I think, 1,000 tickets that they'll be handing out.
Oh, really?
This one floated towards shallow left and playable, coming in a couple steps by the left fielder, Corey Dempster. So the Otters get the first two on at first and second, but they strand those two runners. And the 1-0 lead for the Miners will carry over to the fifth. This is Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network, powered by Crookmar & Kahn Jewelry Company.
I like Rizzitello. Rizzitello.
Sure.
Rizzitello. Is that the way you say it?
Rizzitello.
Yeah.
As we're back on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookmar & Kahn Jewelry Company. And make sure to stay up to date with the latest from the Evansville Otters by visiting EvansvilleOtters.com and subscribing to the Otters e-newsletter by clicking newsletter on the Evansville Otters website homepage. Also, don't forget to follow the Otters on Twitter at EvilleOtters, on Instagram at Evansville Otters, and like the Evansville Otters on Facebook. Plus, get all the latest news, updates, and promotional schedule at EvansvilleOtters.com. Post all the pictures you take at tonight's game using our team hashtag #YouOtterBeHere. You can also download the Otters mobile app for free on the App Store or Google Play by searching Evansville Otters. With Bill McCune, Preston Leinenbach here with you tonight on the call of Evansville Otters baseball. This exhibition, the Jacobs Village game in the 5th inning. And leading off the inning, Anthony Critelli fouls one back on that pitch, which moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Nicely still on the mound. Is neglected to mention the last inning that with Nicely coming in, also a change at catcher. As Dylan Kelly looks like appears to be behind the plate. Looks like it's a number 9 on the backside of the jersey.
That's the way I see it, number 9. And he is from California. I know when I used to scout.
Grounder, Thomas to his left, scoops, throws to Eldridge. We had a little bit of a halfway stretch, but pretty routine play for a ground out, and there's 1 down.
You know what I just liked about that Thomas on that ground ball? Did you notice how he just drifted a couple feet and he put his body in front of the ball? He didn't backhand it, and he made it a nice play. That's the way it should be. That's the way they invented the game.
Got behind the baseball, used the glove hand, also his offhand, his throwing hand to kind of smother it, as well as use the chest to make sure it doesn't bounce away.
That's right.
And is at the plate, Cletus Avery, the second baseman, and he has a strike 1 on the board. Grounder back to Nicely. He'll go over the shoulder with his throw instead of underhanding it to first base, and there's 2 down quickly here in the top of the 5th. So here's Lennon Lindley batting in the 10th spot. As the Miners choosing to go with the extra hitter tonight. Chopper fouled at home plate. Barely went a couple inches.
That Dillion jumped out of that plate. That Kelly grabbed that to throw it to first base, but it was foul ball, but it showed you a lot of hustle.
Wells in center, playing toward the right center gap. And time is called. We'll reset here. 0-1 count with 2 outs. Again, the Miners lead 1-0. Taking high, ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that 1-0 is an unearned run because the gentleman that scored the 1 run struck out but got on first base because of they said a pass ball, but we'll just leave it go.
2-1.
It was a pass ball, and he got on first base. Then next man got on with an error, then a base hit, and that's how the run scored.
Strike called down in the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With number 2 at bat. So 4 kind on the scoreboard.
Yeah, this kid hit that double down the left field line last time up, and it was a scorcher.
Taken outside for ball 3, looked at. Count runs full. The payoff. Fouled first base side, and it will get out of play. Eldridge gave it a couple steps worth of a look, but followed the ball out of play here at Bossy Field, so we'll reset here again with a 3-2 count. So we've just reached 3 minutes past the 10 o'clock hour. And ball 4 taken low, so it's a 2-out walk to Lindley. So some speed on the bases for the Miners with 2 outs.
Here comes the pitch hitter, number 11. Whoever that 11 is Bowman.
As Bryson Bowman, number 11, will pinch hit from the right side. Little throw over.
He was close. Good pick off.
With the lefty on the mound, that little snap throw. Could try to catch him napping.
Yep.
as he settles at the belt. And shoots home a strike, and it's 0-1. Little throw over, soft toss this time to first base. Fouled at home plate. Ooh. Bounced straight up and came back down on top of the Evansville catcher.
Yeah. In the dugout is the little general, the man that's been piloting the Southern Miners for the since their beginning in 2007. This will be what his 12th year.
Mike Pinto.
Mike Pinto, the little general.
And the 0-2 pitch swung on and missed for another strikeout tonight for this Otters pitching staff to Strand Lilly on the bases. We're through the top half of the fifth. We go to the home half. Halfway home here at Bosse Field. It's a 1-0 lead for the Miners on the Evansville Otters Digital Network presented by Crookermeyer and Kahn. Back from Bosse Field on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, powered by Crookermeyer and Kahn. Can't make it to Bosse Field? Well, the Otters Digital Network, brought to you by Crookermeyer and Kahn Jewelry Company, allows you to watch every regular season home game free of charge, no matter wherever you are. The Otters Digital Network is your streaming home for your hometown team. To view games on ODN or for additional questions, go to evansvilleotters.com and click Watch Live on the home page.
So what you're saying, Preston, is somebody who lives in California or down in Puerto Rico or maybe even in London could watch us.
Oh, yeah, we can be seen internationally. There's no doubt about it.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Even last year we had a few viewers outside of the country.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, some in Europe, north of the border here in the U.S. and Canada. We even, I believe, had one viewer maybe in Germany, and I think the coaching staff passed along that was probably former closer Eric Massingham maybe tuning in.
Oh. So, in other words, that person in Germany, I could have been Sprechen Sie Deutschen then.
Donkey Shay.
Yeah, Donkey Shay. Bitte schön.
As we're underway here, new pitcher on the mound for Southern Illinois. That's Nick Palacios. He's a sidewinder, kind of submarine delivery almost. With Kelly at the plate, getting his first at-bat. Remember, it came in a couple innings ago defensively at catcher. Palacios, one of the returning pitchers for the Miners. Again, has that kind of awkward delivery coming from underneath almost.
A pitcher that throws in this manner can never throw a curveball because they always say a curveball you have to pull the shade.
Swing and a miss by Kelly, and it's one ball, one strike was on the board.
Yeah, it was an inside pitch there, and kind of a slow swing on that one. Lazy swing. Maybe fooled.
Foul tip. Back to the backstop, and it's 1-2.
That was a little better swing. He probably was fooled on that one pitch. It was a lazy swing because he probably at the last minute decided, I'll go after it.
Taking inside, 2-2 to even the count. Off the end of the bat, grounder towards short. Gene there to make the play.
Runs pretty good.
And there's one retired.
That was an outside pitch, and then he reached over the plate to slap at that ball, but that wasn't a good swing at all. But I could see with 2 strikes he wasn't taking any chances.
Hunter Colin at the plate from the left side. Palacios fires outside for a ball, 1-0. Here at the ballpark tonight, just a week away from opening night. Went low for that swing.
He looked like, I don't know if you recall now, but he looked like a John Schultz on that swing. The knee went down to the ground, an uppercut, just like John Schultz used to bat. Where is Cullen from?
Count now 1-2.
Oh, he's a California boy. Cal State.
See, has that back foot right on the chalk of the batter's box.
Yeah.
Right at the 90-degree angle on the backside. Swing and a miss, a strikeout, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Palacios able to be pretty successful so far in his appearance, retiring the first 2 he has seen. So here's Pedro Barrios at the plate. The second baseman for the Otters here tonight. And he'll look at a ball.
He's got to replace probably one of the greatest baseball players the Otters ever had in Josh Allen, I'll tell you that.
Former MVP of the league.
Yeah. He's playing with St. Paul now in the American Association.
Yeah, as I mentioned, him and John Schultz both moving up to the play in Minnesota, but they were both in town earlier this week as they kind of stopped as Evansville is kind of like a halfway point from their respective hometowns to where they're going in Minnesota.
Right.
So they decided to kind of come back and visit some old friends and obviously their old coaching staff. As it's a 2-1 count here to Barrios.
Well, you know, it's always tough on a ball player to get in shape when you're, of course, Allen lived in Florida, but Schultz is from Pennsylvania. But when you're in the cold weather state and it's in January and February, you know, and trying to get in shape before you go to spring training, it's kind of hard. So then when someone offers you the opportunity like the Otters offered John the opportunity to come in here and work out before he went to Minnesota. To Lincoln. No, Nebraska. He went to Lincoln, Nebraska.
As Barrios took about a half step on a strike call, thinking his ball 4. Now just fights one off down the first base line.
Yeah.
Down to the Evansville Otters bullpen down in right field.
We have Tucker Hunter Ackerman is playing for Sioux City, I think, and Schultz is with Lincoln, and base hit.
That's just a little flare out there, just getting past the infield up the middle and into center field for a hit for Barrios.
You take them any way you can get them. But anyway, we'll have three of our former 217 otters in the American Association, and that is probably one of the fastest independent leagues in the United States. Ex-major leaguers, triple-A'ers.
Here's Ryan Long once again at the plate with 2 outs and a runner on. We mentioned that he kind of flip-flopped between third and left last year defensively as he takes strike one on the outer half, but he also kind of established himself late in the season as the leadoff guy for Evansville.
Yeah, he did. He did. And I repeat myself. I thought I like him at third base better.
And that's a low, ball 1, so it was a count. Evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wasn't it he got on a lot of times on walks, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah.
Palacios. Foul back to the netting. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Down in the dirt. And there goes Barrios. And he'll dive in with a head first slide to steal that, or take the bag, not necessarily steal, as he took off when the ball got away from the catcher.
The catcher made a pretty good throw there. He hustled, he blocked the ball, got in front and picked it up, made a good throw. You know, while we're talking about the baseball, Chris Gunn is the chef here at the Bossy Field. And I tell you what, he has done a marvelous job in preparing some new food on that menu. And I like the French fries, and I think the overall menu is great.
Definitely an upgraded menu with some new items. New and improved upgraded menu here at Bossy Field this year. Those who made it out to FanFest last week got a little sneak peek with some complimentary tastings.
People raved about that pulled pork, and I know the pretzels were great. But
the 2-2 by Long, a high fly ball toward the left center gap. About medium range. The center fielder, Lindley, over to make the catch. Actually, looks like Lindley has been replaced by a new center fielder, but that will end the inning. So we're through 5, going to the 6th. It's a 1-0 lead for the Miners still from Bossy Field. This is Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network, presented by Kruckemeyer and Kahn. Back on the Otters Digital Network. It's presented by Crookermeyer and Kahn. Looks like just wrapped up the chicken dance here at Bossy Field. New pitcher on the mound for Evansville to be number 34, Brian Bass. 6'4", 205. The right-hander on the mound. Also a slew of changes across the infield. Looks like at third will be number 6, Adrian Guzman. At short, number 1, Austin Holman. With Manny Cruz, number 7 at second base. Eldridge is still at first. And it looked like I saw number 44, John Kukura, go out toward the outfield. And let's see.
44's in left.
44 being left. Maybe, I think that might be Taylor Hilson, number 10, out in the right field.
I don't know. If we don't see their numbers, you got to get used to all these new ball players.
Chopped foul to Gene, the shortstop. Third base side, and it's 0-1.
You haven't learned their antics yet. You know, the way they walk and the way they do this and the way they do that. And you don't have to see their numbers. You just can say, oh, no, that's so-and-so.
Yeah, like I said, we're just still trying to get acclimated and acquainted to some of these new players. But that is Taylor Hilson, number 10, out in right field as he turned around that last foul ball.
Oh, okay.
And if you recall, he's with the team last year. Actually, played third base when he did play more often than not. So that one goes inside. And then was placed on the disabled list. Getting a second shot this year. Can definitely play the infield as we saw last year, but we see him in the outfield and right.
Well, I don't think he had a pretty good year last year at third.
He really didn't play a lot, really, honestly, before he got hurt.
Well, he came in and played third, I'm going to say about 5 games, made about 4 errors, struck out about 9 times, and didn't do much. And if you say he got hurt, well, that was the end of him. I didn't see him much after that.
Grounder back to Bass on the mound. Basically just had that come right to him, chest high.
Yeah.
And there's an out. A couple comebackers to the mound here tonight.
Yeah. You know, you're talking about, getting to recognize people. Saturday, I was watching my granddaughter play lacrosse, and again, on the internet, and I didn't have to see her number. I just knew who she was, the way she walked and run, and so on. Anyway, ground ball to second.
Fielded by Cruz, and he can just do a little soft overhead toss for out number 2.
Yeah, so far, Bass hasn't thrown too many pitches. That's the way, as a pitcher, you love that. One pitch, and it's an out.
Here's Chance Shepard at the plate now. Once again, for Southern Illinois. Again, the Otters and the Miners will play tomorrow night from Brooks Stadium in Paducah, Kentucky. Kind of a neutral site game that they've played at the last couple of years in exhibition play. Then the Otters will go to Rent One Park on Tuesday morning for their Education Day, before the Otters will come back home on Wednesday to host the Miners for the Otters Education Day for the second time.
That would be Wednesday now? We have 2 outs and a 1-1 count on Mr. Shepard. Wow, what a curveball. Actually, it's a slider, not so much a curve as a slider. He's got a real big break on it, and he throws more or less low 3/4 or low. It's not a submarine type. Oh, wow. Here we are. I don't know if we're still on the air or not. Ground ball hit to second base, and that's 3 outs. And 1, 2, 3 for Mr. Bass. He probably threw at the most 7 pitches and looked pretty good anyway. So here we are going into the 6th inning.
We are indeed making our way to the 6th inning. Sorry about that. I had to jump off real quick. Sometimes you wear multiple hats here at the ballpark, and when you work with the Evansville Otters Baseball Club, we're all a team here. Again, the score 1-0 Miners to the 6th here on the Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookermeyer and Kahn. And we're ready to go here once again on the Otters Digital Network, powered by Krickermeyer and Kahn. In this exhibition game, the Miners leading the Otters 1-0. Bottom of the sixth on its way up. And a new pitcher in for the Miners, number 10, Trey Hobbs, the lefty on the mound for Southern Illinois, with Bill McCune and Preston Leidenbach here with you on the Otters Digital Network, exclusively on the Evansville Otters YouTube channel. I want to thank you all for joining us here late in the evening now. Approaching 10:30 from Bossfield, local time, of course, with Austin Holman strapping on the gloves. Looked like he might have given it just a little spit there, just made it get a better grip as he gets ready to dig in.
Well, you said that we're international, so if someone from New Jersey is watching their son, let's say a couple of those minor ball players are from New Jersey, actually it would be 25 after 11.
Jumping an hour ahead of the central time zone.
Yeah. And
a strike called to Holman. So again, Trey Hobbs on the mound now for the Miners.
And if you're in California, it want to be
8:30.
Yeah.
Or nearly 8:30.
Right.
Swing and a miss from Holman, 0-2. And tonight was the Jacobs Village benefit game. 13th annual exhibition. The partnership between the Evansville Otters and Jacobs Village. Fortunately, it was set back by a 2-hour, 5-minute rain delay. First pitch was at 8:40 from Bossy Field. So Holman stays alive, taking the ball. It's 1-2.
Isn't tonight Jacobs Village after the game a diamond ring or something is out there, and all the women can go out and search for it?
Well, that was lined up to be an in-between inning promotion, the Diamond Dash.
Oh.
Go out into the infield dirt and try to dig around, find the diamond, but with the weather not cooperating necessarily, not sure if that's still on or not. We'll find out, I guess.
Well, Holman just got called out on a strikeout that was low, and he didn't swing because he didn't think it was a strike, and neither did I. But unfortunately, the umpire on the bases called him out.
Pitch inside. This is Guzman at the plate.
Now, you and I are not eligible to go out and look for that ring or that diamond. Just women, right?
Just women, to my knowledge, and you had to sign up for it.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Everyone had the opportunity to at least sign up, 18 and over.
Oh, okay.
The Mad Dash to try to find it.
Mm. Well, Mr. Guzman is at the plate, and he's got a 1-1 count.
Looks like he'll foul this one off, slicing away onto the rooftop. First base side. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Is Zane going to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and at the 7th inning?
I would assume so. I think he's been getting those golden pipes ready to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Oh, he's going to acapella.
Oh, my goodness.
2 balls, 2 strikes. I catch myself saying that a lot when I interact with Zane Clodfelter, the PA announcer here at Bossy Field.
Guzman goes down.
Sometimes a good eye roll as well, as in strikeout, 2 down. Yes, Hilson will be the batter.
Yeah, Zane's been our PA announcer for a number of years and is probably the best in the league. I tell you what, he's got that voice that is got the beautiful. The women, I tell you, the women just rave how wonderful his voice is.
So Hilson at the plate. Looks at one low for a ball. It's 1-0 in the count.
Would you say, though, Frank Sinatra doesn't have anything to worry about, though?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's definitely accurate. The 1-0 called a strike. Hilson spun away from it, thinking it might have dropped down, but just kind of shaking his head a little bit. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. And this is going to be lined out and served into center field for a base hit by Hilson.
Yeah.
Just kind of stuck the bat head out there and knocked it in center field.
Yeah, but he did a pretty good job of doing going down after that and got himself a base hit. I think that hit just preserved him making the team.
2 outs, runner on, and Kakur at the plate. Came in defensively in the outfield, number 44, 6 foot, 180. And looks at a called strike 1.
I got a base hit the other day.
And the 0-1 downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Did he call that a strike?
No, it was low for a ball.
Okay, yeah, because it was low.
The 1-1 swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Again, it's a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning from Bossy Field for the Miners.
You know, we haven't seen anybody, there hasn't been that many people on base, to be honest with you. It's been mostly a pitcher's duel tonight.
Yeah, looking at the line score, 1 run on 3 hits, no errors for Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Evansville. Bounces that one in off the chest protector.
But what I was going to say is we haven't seen anybody attempt to steal. And, of course, we did have 1 runner advance, Evansville, but that was a blocked ball. And, of course, it wasn't a deliberate steal. But this is the time, like I said, you test the catcher's arms, you see who can steal, and strikeout.
Swung on and missed. And that will end the inning. So we're through 6, going to the 7th with slow scoring. Limited base runner game, as you mentioned, Bill. It's a 1-0 lead for the Miners on the Otters Digital Network, presented by Krickemeyer and Kahn. Going to the 7th inning on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Presented by Krickemeyer and Kahn Jewelry Company. New battery into the game for Evansville. On the mound, number 33, Sam Toll. And behind the plate will be number 8, Dylan Hamill.
we're throwing subs in. I shouldn't say that. We're having different ball players play now.
Toll, right-handed pitcher on the mound. Looks like it's Kurt Wirtz Jr. at the plate. It is number 8 for the Miners. And struck out a couple times. Looks at a 1-0 count now.
Kurt is not having a good night. But I tell you what, he misses that one again. If Kurt gets a hold of one, he's a pull hitter. And I'll tell you what, he could put that ball over not only the fence, but the wall out there. But you got to make contact first before you can hit it over the wall.
He'll slice this one toward the left center alley, and it's going to get down at the track and bounce off the lower part of the fence. It'll be thrown back in toward the infield, but it's a stand-up double to lead off the 7th for Kurt Wirtz Jr. of the Miners.
I always liked him when he played with the Otters. In fact, one time he was from Williamsport, and Sweeney was from somewhere else, and Schultz was from Reading. You had 3 Pennsylvanians out there for the Otters.
As he stands on second, he'll stretch out the legs. As a pinch runner actually will come in for Wirtz Jr., it looks like. Can't quite make out who that was. As Toll fires home a ball here. Number 32, Dempster at the plate once again. Through 6 innings of play from Bosse Field. Toll takes a long look back, now fires inside. Hamill, nice job to get over and get that one into the glove, as that one had a little heat behind it.
Yeah, I wonder why Tello hasn't played yet. He's one of the better catchers. At least I like him.
2-0, inside, down and in, 3-0.
Let's see, his 31, it might be in the bullpen.
Three-0 count on the board. And there's a strike, 3-1.
Would that be a courtesy strike? I thought it was high.
Get opening weekend next weekend against Washington. The Wild Things will come to town. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, 6:35 starts. Sunday, 2:05. In fact, Sundays will more than likely be 2:05, except for one exception in June when the Miners come to town. It'll be a 5:05 start, but now they're 2:05 starts on Sundays.
Really? I like that. That's the way Major League Baseball was back in the 30s and the 40s. It was always Sunday afternoon.
And the first true road trip for the Otters will be the 15th through the 17th of May to Joliet. And a sinking liner that's barely sticks into the outfield past the glove of Cruz. And it'll be runners on the corners with no one out.
I could always remember, Preston, my first Major League Baseball game was the Polo Grounds on a Sunday afternoon. And there was a gentleman named Swiss Nicholson. And he was with the Cubs, I believe. And everybody, when he came to the plate, everyone kept yelling, "Swish, swish." And I was a young boy, and I said, "What is everyone doing that?" And they said, "Oh, he swishes. He strikes out all the time." And that doubleheader, he hit 5 home runs. He's going to steal.
There he goes, down to second. The throw, a little wide. Fortunately for the Otters, though, no advance for the runner at third.
Now, he had a good lead, and he gave himself away that he was stealing. The throw was good, and just that he had a better jump. That was it. but I like the throw.
The 1-0. Sent toward right, charging hard, making the catch, and not deep enough for the runners to advance. Taylor Hilson making that play in right. And there's one away.
Well, we got one out anyway. We got Harrison out there in left field. Is that who was out in left? No, we got that new guy. How do you say it?
Kukura,
Kukura.
to my knowledge. Haven't actually gotten official pronunciations yet.
Okay. He's playing kind of deep. That's what I was wondering. Well, even when we get the pronunciations, I'll I'll do my job of following them up.
Count now 1-1.
This guy throws like a shot putter.
Looks like this is Austin Call, number 5, making his first at-bat of the night.
There's a breaking pitch there.
Falls down and away, 2-1. Now the stretch coming set. Fouled back, 2-2.
Game is dragging on now. It's a little slow with the change of the players. Different ball players coming in and slowed the game down. It's not as...
That gets away from Hamill, but no advance.
Yeah.
It was a tough read, like for the runner at third base, possibly. Count runs full. Yeah, not only with the changes, but again, it's interesting, though. It's only a 1-0 game. It'll be interesting, even though this is just an exhibition. We mentioned how this is a chance to test out situational baseball. You know, it's winning time. It's a 1-0 game. Definitely a close game that can still go either way. 3-2. Taken high, and the bases will be loaded after the walk.
And there's one out. As far as that runner on that wild pitch, or actually, I don't know if it was a wild pitch or just got by the glove of the catcher, but the runner on third couldn't have advanced because it didn't get away that far. And, you know, with one out, you didn't want to take a chance of losing a run.
So here's Avery taking a strike, and it's 0-1. Breaking ball left a little bit up, fouled away, and it will be off the rooftop once again here at Bosse Field. It's 0-2.
Well, we got third baseman playing in a little, and we got the first baseman playing in a little. Third baseman's backing up now, but still ground ball to the infield.
And this is laced out to right. Hilson coming in. A little off-balance catch. He'll fire into second. And the runner back in safely. It's a sac fly in the second run of the game across. That is still Kurt Wirtz Jr. still in the game. And it's a 2-0 lead for the Miners. Hilson decided to maybe throw behind the runner a second to maybe get him on the double play that way.
Well, what do you think? Right play or bad play? Or good play? Going to second base.
I think, again, with this time of the season, you thought he had a chance at him, but I think if it's obviously during the regular season, as I mentioned, 20 time, you go to home to try to cut off that second run.
Yeah.
Try to keep it a 1-0 game.
Right.
I mean, if he scores, he scores. Try to take your chance on that.
As it is, he scored.
As this will be Chris Skura, number 23, at the plate now for the Miners.
Yeah, I don't know why Tillison or Ellison, whether he was off balance because he kept charged in on that line drive. He caught it way over on his right. So now whether he was off balance, that second base was his only play, I don't know.
3-0 count here. To Skura in the plate. Toll on the mount. Or possibly Tolley. Again, not sure of the official pronunciation yet, but we will be getting that soon for the whole list of 24 that will make the opening day roster for the Otters with 1 week from tonight.
Well, you still could carry more till a certain date, isn't it? Maybe to the end of June 1 or something.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count runs full as he's able to bounce back on the mount. Inside, cold strike 3 as the runners took off with obviously the full count 2-out pitch. But that will end the inning. The Miners do score 1. They extend their lead 2-0 over the Otters. It's 7th inning stretch time from Bosse Field. So we head to the bottom of the 7th. This is Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network presented by Krickemeyer and Kahn. Back on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, presented by Krickemeyer and Kahn. And just a reminder, the Otters will open their regular season home schedule with a 3-game series against the Washington Wild Things, beginning next Friday, May 11th, with Swat Pest and Hoosier Lottery Night. Hoosier Lottery will be giving away scratch-off tickets to the first 1,000 fans, ages 18 and up. On Saturday, the Otters will be celebrating Vanderburgh County's 200th anniversary. It's Bicentennial Night at the Otters. You can also pick up free tickets for that game at any Evansville Vanderburgh Public Library locations. Next Saturday will also be Girl Scout Night. Registration is still available until midway through next week. Registration for Girl Scout Night can be found online at EvansvilleOtters.com, at guest services at Bosse Field as well. Sunday, the series finale of opening weekend, is the Otters' first Family Fun Day Sunday. For $40, families will receive 4 general admission tickets, 4 popcorn, soda, and snow cone vouchers, easy enough for me to say, and 2 inflatable passes. It's a $74 value for only $40. Tickets are still available at EvansvilleOtters.com or by calling 812-435-8686. To the bottom of the 7th, the Otters up to bat. New pitcher on the mound, number 43, George Capon for the Miners, with Eldridge at the plate for Evansville. So it's going to be a full slate of activities and fun times here at Boston Field next weekend to kick off the 2018 regular season. Swing and a miss, strike one.
That might be the last year for Girl Scouts, too. Have you noticed that they just changed? It's going to be Scouts, Boys/G. Or no, the Boys is eliminated. I think it's Scouts B/G. They eliminated the boys.
No comment. I will just stay out of that.
Yeah, me too.
Meeting on the mound here on the way. Or at least halfway out between the catcher and the pitcher.
Now, I understand that counts as a trip out to the mound. Wasn't it new rules this year?
For the major leaguers.
Yeah.
Not sure if it carried over to independent baseball.
Well, I thought it did. That's what someone told me, that that counts as a you're only allowed, what, 2 or 3 or something like that? Anytime the catcher talks, it's counted as a trip.
On the 0-1, a strike on the low outside part of the plate, 0-2. Down the dirt for a ball, 1-2.
Eldridge really put the wood to the ball the other day when against that Florence when he hit that home run. It was really...
Eldridge sends one to deep left center, but the play will be made as it'll be caught. And there's another out to start the inning for Evansville. Just really hasn't been able... the Otters haven't been able to get the offense really going consistently. Haven't really strung together too many hits. As it's been a quiet night offensively for the Otters. Only 4 hits so far in this game. Strike called to Hamill, the catcher, now to play with for the Otters.
Ooh, good breaking pitch.
And strike 2. 0-2 now. That one tails away out of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hamill able to lay off that one.
Yep, high outside, high pitch.
Swung on and missed for a strikeout. So 2 down. It'll be a fun upcoming season here at Bosse Field. Preston Lineback, Bill McCune here with you tonight. We'll be the dynamic duo for at least through the first week and opening weekend. Then we'll be welcoming one of our new team members here to the broadcast booth here in a couple weeks. Our good buddy Sam from Syracuse will be joining us here for long.
Sammy Jelinek, is that the way you say it?
I believe so. I'll have to ask him when he first gets here.
Well, it's Jellinek. Jelinek. At least that's the way I would say it.
Said he's got to graduate first, and then he'll be here in Evansville
Right.
to join us on the broadcast team. As Colin is at the plate, he has stayed in the game throughout the night after getting the start, and it's 1-1. And just also a little shout out if Lucas Corley, our former broadcaster from a year ago, is still up at this late, although I know he's busy with his new endeavor with the Tennessee Smokies. Good partner to work with last season as this one's popped up right side the infield, first base. Ooh, leaning back, reaching back for the catch. Out number 3. We're through 7. It's a 2-0 lead for the Miners going to the 8th from Bosse Field. This is Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network presented by Kroekemeyer & Kahn. Coming back on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookermeyer and Kahn Jewelry Company. Thank them for their support, joining us on board of the Otters Digital Network. A little bit of a lengthier delay between innings there, as it was the Diamond Dash. As we were mentioning that earlier, alluded to it. Quite a few female participants out there. They went out with the Evansville Otters players lined up on the first base line, stood there, and then when they were given the go-ahead, they would turn around to see which player had a diamond hidden in their glove. And one lucky participant, the victor.
Wasn't it years ago they put it, buried it out in the on the infield, and it was after the game they let everybody go out and shovels and rakes and hose and
a little bit more, I guess, contained way to do this.
Yeah. Well,
less mess for the grounds crew to deal with.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, with the hour, it would have been 1 o'clock before they found it, if they found it.
So it's a 2-0 lead at the top of the 8th. The Miners ahead of the Otters. New pitcher on the mound for Evansville. And it's Taylor Cherry. I recall, as I mentioned earlier, was with the team last year. Till about, I guess it was about late June, I guess it was, early July, somewhere in there.
Yeah. He's big boy.
Yep, 6'9", 300 is where he's listed. And he has returned for another chance with the Otters after putting in some off-season work.
You know, I wonder if when he goes on the road, do they get an extra-size bed?
I'm sure every player probably gets their own bed anyway. Did you ever had to bunk with somebody else?
Believe it or not, the first year, yeah. First year in pro baseball, yes, I did. We were the Welsh Miners, and we were a Boston Brave affiliate, and yeah, those were the good days. Yes.
Pitch taken low. And it's 2-1. Pass along here. Who's at the plate? Number 11, Bryson Bowman. Kind of backed off the plate, and they're going to go ahead and say that it hit him.
Oh, we're having a, here comes Max, something wrong, pitcher. Now, if this is the case, and you got to bring a new pitcher in, he can warm up as long as he wants.
The only thing is that kind of ruins the game plan, though, going into the game. Kind of have a set amount in mind of who would be throwing and tossing.
Unless he was, I don't know, Andy's out there talking to him, the umpire's talking, trainers there. I wonder what happened.
In the meantime, Keanu Cummings will come into the game. He had been doing some light tossing, but he'll come out, and like you said, he'll get as long as he needs to get warmed up, get going. So in the meantime, we'll go ahead and step aside, take a little time out as well on the Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookermeyer and Kahn. Back on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookermeyer and Kahn. New pitcher on the mound for Evansville, Keanu Cummings coming in. And feels like he's warmed up, good to go now. Again, as long as he needed to with Cherry coming out due to an unknown injury, perhaps.
I'm going to say, yeah, an injury because the trainer went out and the doctor went down too. So that indicates it has to be something medical.
Yeah, play will be number 9, Gene, still in the game. Runner at first, top of the 8th inning. Cummings, the left-hander on the mound for the Otters.
2-0, the Miners.
Last year's Frontier League Rookie of the Year with the baseball on the bump. Swing and miss as the ball will get away, though. Now will still allow the runner to advance despite the strike.
Now that's got to be a pass ball. That's got to be a pass ball. Number 8 is Hamill.
Keanu Cummings last year saw a lot of innings in relief, a lot of strikeouts. And as the bunt will go down, he'll leave it for the third baseman, and no play. As that ball kind of died between Cummings coming off the mound and Guzman coming in from third.
Perfect bunt. You know that's the first bunt of the evening, and you know how I brag about bunting. In fact, it was interesting the other day when I was here during their workouts, JR had a bunting session going down on the first bound by first base, and it was interesting to see the Otters practice a bunting.
So here's Dudek at the plate now. More on Keanu Cummings. Also had an ERA for the season that was in the ones. That's pretty good.
Yes, it was.
Primarily, for the most part, was the setup guy in front of Rainey McCurry. Yeah. Did pick up a few saves, just over a handful. Gets a strike there and jumps ahead 0-2 from the mound.
Yeah, well, we need the out.
Runners at first and third. Miners looking to pick up some insurance here in the top of the 8th inning. Cummings comes set. And launches it towards home plate, but in the dirt for a ball 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Chopper towards second. On to second for 1, over to first.
Safe.
In time.
Oh.
They will call him out as Eldridge, reaching up with his height, able to just get the double play in time on the back end.
I'm going to say we got a break because he came off that bag. And it's funny, there's no argument. Well, it's spring training. But if that was a regular season, I bet the little general had been out there arguing, put it that way.
It's a 4-6-3 double play. The run from third does score, and that makes it a 3-0 game in favor of the Miners.
Yeah.
So with 2 outs, Cummings gets a swinging strike. Here to Shepard.
He turned that ball over. We used to call it a Scroogey. I don't know what they call it anymore. Terminology in baseball has changed. I remember Lucas used to refer to something, I don't remember what it was, but it used to drive me crazy when he'd say so-and-so and so-and-so, and, you know, do you recall what it was?
I do not.
It was something he would always refer to it.
The 1-2. Grounded towards short. Holman charges in, sets, and throws. Low throw digged out by Eldridge. Eldrith making some good defensive plays on the back end at first base this inning. So it's a 3-0 lead for the Miners going to the bottom of the 8th. This is the Otters Digital Network presented by Krickemeyer and Kahn. Getting set for the bottom of the 8th inning on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Brought to you by Krickemeyer and Kahn Jewelry Company with Bill McCune, Preston Leinenbach here with you. And remember, fans, for all your official Otters apparel, be sure to visit the gift shop. Located in the main tunnel behind home plate at Bossy Field from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, normal business hours, or anytime during an Otters game. Get an Otters shirt, hat, or other specialty items in the Evansville Otters gift shop. Your official place to get official team apparel, some novelty souvenir items, and there's definitely a lot of new stuff to maybe take a look at and buy in the gift shop this year. Some new pullovers, shirts, hats, new stuffed Evan the Otter animal. So go check it out in the main tunnel here at Bossy Field. Bottom of the 8th, 1-1 count with a new pitcher, Kyle Brown, the left-hander on the mound, with Cruz at the plate for the Otters. Then 15 p.m. from Bossy Field. Low ball just below the knees, 2-1. The 2-1 delivery. Swung on a miss on a pitch high in the zone. Basically trying to chop wood at that one almost.
Well, he got faked out on that one. It was high, and he was about to swing. And then, just you said, he had a chopping swing.
The 2-2. Taken low, 3-2 count runs full. Is that one sinking at the latter part of its delivery in its trajectory toward home plate. Off the barrel of the bat, slicing right field, Pitnick, foul territory. Ooh.
Isn't that fair ball?
That was a foul ball.
Boy, it was close.
As Bowman was the one tracking it down, he slipped, fell down in the process. Not sure if it was wet grass or just the elevation of the bullpen area a little bit, maybe.
Okay, he overran it, and Then he reached back, and I guess that's where he lost his balance. But from here, my angle, I thought was fair ball on the line. But again, you got a better angle.
That one will not be made defensively up the middle, as that was a weak little shot that got in front of the second base bag, and it's going to be a tough play for either the shortstop or the second baseman, and Cruz is safe at first.
Well, did they give him a base hit or not? You know, the second baseman, Preston, came over to field that, and that was the shortstop's play, because the shortstop, was running toward the bag where the second baseman was going to be running into left field, didn't have to stop. So it was a dumb play on the second baseman.
The DH, Ryan Long, now at the plate. Takes ball one, down and away. And there's a strike on the outer black.
I was going to say, that looked like a good call. You're down 3-0. You can't be running. Although there was a ball player played for the Otters several years back.
Big rip from Long, comes up empty. Did not make contact, and it's 1-2.
And anyway, whether the score was 20-0 or 1-1, he would steal. And he'd steal second base, third base. He was an individual.
Foul back, 1-2 with the count. Here's the 1-2. Fouled.
It was strike three, but it was a tip that got by the catcher, so therefore it's a foul ball.
Long digs back in. Settling at the bell on the mound. Brown the pitch. Almost got him to me think about it. Down away, taken for ball two. Waiting on the 2-2 delivery. Here it comes. Down and in for a ball three. Tough take there, but good eye by Long.
Well, let's see what Andy does. 3-2, although it's no outs and you shouldn't be running, but it's still interesting. Remember the other day when Florence was here, it was interesting as far as their stealing.
The payoff, outside ball, 4. So Long gets the walk. Cruz will advance to second, and just like that, the tying run will come to the plate, and Austin Holman. It's a 3-0 score, very low scoring. Otters still obviously well within this, but with the Otters offense not really being able to string together a run here, it feels like a wider gap than just 3 runs, really.
Well, this is the second time in the game so far where they've had runners on first and second and no outs. And last time we recall, we had the batter pop to short right, and the next batter short center.
And that one probably went about, 40, 45 feet?
Yeah.
And all the way to the backstop, so both runners will advance into scoring position, second and third.
Right. Well, again, going back to the situation I said, there was a short pop to right and a short pop to center, and then the strikeout. So let's take the short pop to right and center. Neither would have been able to score the runner on third as of now.
So 1-0 count. Grounder towards short. Ooh, Long almost got in the way of that one. As he goes back to second, Cruz will cross home plate. It's an RBI ground out. And the Otters are on the board with their first run of the game, still trailing by 2, 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That was a double play ball, but the second baseman didn't cover second base. And, well, actually, he couldn't cover second because there was no runner. But the point is, he could have nabbed the short could have nabbed that runner at second base, as you said, because he was way off. In fact, he ran in front of the ball that was being fielded.
Yeah, the one thing I was looking at is more that Long looked like he was only a couple inches from having that baseball hit or touch him.
Yeah, right.
And that would have kind of killed the rally, I guess. Strike inside called.
Yeah.
With Guzman at the plate.
Well, let's go back to the play. Long should not have even attempted to run when the ball was in front of him.
But you're still doing the recap, right? Okay. Foul ball, 0-2. That one went down to the Evansville Otters bullpen, which has gotten a little lonely here in the latter part of this game. Just a couple of our starting early in the game catchers down there chilling out.
It can be a lonely place down there in the bullpen by yourself.
High, 4 ball, 1-2. We'll look back to second, 1-2. Fouled at home plate, going back to the backstop. And the count, once again, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 3-1 score. Miners lead it here in the bottom of the 8th. Taylor Hilson stands on deck for Evansville. So 1-2. Taking high, count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This has not been a very productive ball game as far as hits or runs or excitement. You know, bunting, stealing, moving runners over. 3-2.
Count runs full. Is that one down and inside near the shins? Get Brown on the mound. Number 36.
Ooh.
Gets in the chase at 1 out of the zone for a strikeout, 2 away.
Boy, oh boy, that was way outside. That's a big out.
Yes. Guzman just kind of flung the bat out there, try to maybe spoil it. So here's Hilson now to play with 2 outs and runner at second. Hilson will foul this one off the rooftop. So we want to thank you all for joining us here tonight on the Otters Digital Network, again, powered by Krickemeyer and Kahn.
Now, there's a question. Can somebody who's watching us right now, could they...
The 0-1, strike 2.
Okay, could they, what do you call it, Facebook us in or something like that, make comments about the game that we're doing?
Well, they can definitely leave a comment or tweet at us at the Evansville Otters organization, but there is a comment section underneath the live streaming feed on YouTube.
Yeah, but what I meant
only nice comments though.
Yeah, but the thing in the past, we've had people tweet us while we were on the air and the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that still possible for?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They can comment, say where they're listening from.
Okay.
Or watching from. In this case, a swing and a miss for strike 3 to end the inning. The Otters score 1, they strand 1. It's a 3-1 lead for the Miners to the ninth from Bosse Field. This is the Evansville Otters Digital Network, powered by Kruckermeyer and Kahn. Back on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, presented by Kruckermeyer and Kahn. To the ninth inning we go. It's a 3-1 contest in favor of Southern Illinois. Calno Cummings back on the mound for the Otters. And Kurt Wirtz Jr. is at the plate for the Miners. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Strike called. What has ended up being a longer evening than anticipated due to the rain delay that pushed back the start time. But we were able to get this one in, a spring training exhibition game. Just a part of the process to lead all the way up to opening night next Friday from Bosse Field, as Cummings stumbled there on his landing of his delivery. Looks like he'll be all right, though, and we'll do a little maintenance on the mound to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, there's not many places open right now. We can get some ham and eggs for breakfast. I guess Denny's is still open, isn't it?
It's open 24/7.
Yeah, open
okay.
24/7. Yeah, go for,
All right.
by the time this one's over, a midnight grand slam from Denny's.
Wait, do you still get the bacon and sausage with that, though? Okay.
Yeah, grand slam. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's baseball related, too, so
Yeah.
nice little plug there. Swartz Jr. fouls it off toward the left field side. 2-2 count. And
Williamsport, Pennsylvania. That's where this young man's from, and that's where the Little League World Series is held. I used to stay in a hotel that, as you looked out the front door of the hotel, you could look at the ballpark or ball field, stadium, whatever.
2-2 count. After a little bit of a delay on the field. We're ready to resume action as a little disagreement in signs. Strikeout.
See, there goes another one. Thrown at the first baseman. All you got to do is the catcher is tag the guy if he's standing there.
He might have been tagged because he didn't even go down to first.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
he might have been tagged, but they still threw it down anyway.
Yeah.
So there's one down, top of the ninth inning from Bosse Field.
Santiago, our catcher, I repeat myself many times over this network about Santiago in spring training. And he did that, and I said, no, no, no. Tag the batter. Don't throw it to first. Me got good arm. Me got good arm. Yeah, but suppose you throw it in the right field. Well, later in the season, well, not in that season, but years later, I think it was in 86, he threw one in right field against the San Francisco Giants and took us out of the playoffs. We lost, by one game, and we lost that game because of him throwing it in right field. Me got good arm. He did have a heck of an arm, but
1-2 count now after swing strike.
anytime you throw a ball, there's always a chance of throwing it wild. I don't care how accurate you are.
Dempster the batter.
Yeah.
Down 1-2. Fouls it back. Do it all over. And lined out to center. Ooh. Colin playing center field stumbled on his way to try to get that, and luckily was able to catch up to it to hold it to a single.
Yeah, I don't know if that field's wet there because of the rain. Maybe it's slippery out there. I don't know. We've seen two occasions so far in outfielders that it kind of slipped. Although I don't see any puddles out there.
Swing and a miss. Number 33, Jerry Chavarria. A 1 count. Cummings looks over to first, now fires home. Down and in for a ball, 1-1.
Now, we won't be on the air again until
Till opening night.
Friday night. Okay.
Week from today.
All right. And they'll be able to see us by going to YouTube.
Runner goes.
Oh.
Low pitch. Not caught. And a stolen base.
Yep.
1-2 count.
That's the first stolen base we've seen. If you recall last year, that's one of the problems we had was our pitchers didn't hold the runners on.
The 1-2. Swung on a miss. A strikeout. And there's 2 down. Runner still at second base.
Yep. I'll say one thing. Our pitcher so far tonight has gotten quite a few strikeouts. I lost track, but I know we got at least over 10.
I'm so sorry. The good thing is I've been sucking on cough drops since 4, so it tastes like cherries.
Strike called. And it's 0-1 with Austin Call at the plate. And this is going to be served out. Shot left center for a hit. Another run will score for Southern Illinois. It's a 4-1 lead on an RBI single by Call. This will be number 34, Avery, back up. The pitch from Cummings down low for a ball, 1-0.
here it is after 11:30, and we still have a lot of dedicated fans still here in the stands. Got to give them credit. They're baseball fans.
Yeah, it's a pitch taken low, 3-0. Here's just a get me over fastball for a strike, and it's 3-1.
I think that was a courtesy strike. To me, it was high.
Fly ball to center. Colin has to really race back to get it, and he will. And that'll be the third out.
He got a good break on that to get that ball.
It's
up to the others now.
It's up to the Otters. It's a 4-1 lead after one more run scores for the Miners. 3 straight innings they've scored 1. To the bottom of the 9th right after this on the Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookmeyer and Kahn. Going to the bottom of the 9th here at Bosse Field. It's a 4-1 lead for the Miners. Last chance for the Otters to do some damage offensively. Is at the plate for Evansville.
Well, this is
Kakura, number 44.
Yeah, John, and I'm assuming now they're going to carry 4 outfielders, not just an assumption. Andy likes to carry a lot of pitchers, so I'm going to say you're going to carry 4 outfielders, 5 infielders, 2 catchers, and the rest are going to be pitchers. So that's my estimate. I don't know. We'll see. So John here is fighting for a spot.
Foul tip back, and it's 1-1.
I'm going to say right now Gardner's going to be with the club. Worse is going to be with the club. And I'm going to say between Harrison and Cohen.
Liner caught it short, a couple inches above the ground for out number 1 as Austin Dubsky, the right-hander on the mound now from the Miners, number 21. Former pitcher for Murray State, a couple hours south of Evansville. Made his pro ball debut last year with the Miners. So still relatively young. So he bounces this one to Eldridge.
Eldridge played with the Phillies last year. Edmond, Oklahoma.
Strike. strike on the outer corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss, 1-2, as Eldridge went chasing after one that broke down in the zone. Fell off the table a little bit.
Typical lefty. For some reason, low inside pitches they love to go after. They got that golf swing.
Taking high. 2-2.
Ben Hogan's swing. How's that?
Breaking ball called strike 3, as that one was really low.
Yep.
Well,
And inside.
Inside. And there's 2 outs. Might be one of those strike calls. So let's all just get out here and go home.
Well, I that might be the good answer. You know, the umpire is saying, hey, I'm only getting paid for 9 innings, and it's way past my bedtime.
So here's Hamill at the plate, and he looks at strike 1.
That's a pretty good fastball there. Now, that was a strike.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Ooh, head was in left field on that swing.
You mean he didn't keep the eye on the ball?
That's what I'm saying.
Something you start hearing when you're a kid. And strike 3 called on a punch out. And that will end the game here from Bosse Field. The final score, Southern Illinois 4, Evansville 1. As it's 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Miners. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for the Evansville Otters. Again, these 2 teams will be back in action tomorrow on the road when they meet at a neutral site in Paducah, Kentucky. 7:05 p.m. start. An exhibition game here, part of spring training, 2018. So again, the Otters take the loss. They'll look to bounce back, and obviously the overall goal is just to find the right guys for the right spots on the team, getting ready for opening night and opening weekend, just a week from today, next Friday, May 11th. So the Otters fall on this one. Before we wrap up, we'll just keep the postgame really short here tonight. Bill, what's on?
I thought overall the pitching was good in the first 5 or 6 innings, and then, of course, they start throwing anybody and everybody in. And the defense was solid in the beginning. And the only thing is they didn't get too many hits, but there weren't that many strikeouts from the guys at first 5 or 6 innings. So it looks like it might be a productive season. I'll put it there.
All righty. Sounds good to me. A lot to look forward to as we're just getting started here this season from Bosse Field, another season of Evansville Otters baseball. We want to thank you for joining us here tonight on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, presented by Crookermeyer & Collin Jewelry Company. For our entire Otters Digital Network crew out on out in the grandstand, our camera work, as well as those up here directing and producing up here in the press box for Bill McCune. I'm Preston Linebox saying so long for now here on the Evansville Otters Digital Network, powered by Crookermeyer & Collin.